Good to see you. Our viewers should understand you support about 90 coins, so you've been an advocate for a long time. You don't seem to be bothered much by the volatility. We've had historical volatility. Some thought it was getting smoothed out, but either way, it doesn't seem to be raising doubts in your mind.
Not at all. So I've been with Bitcoin, studying it for the last 10 years, and I've seen many, many bull cycles over these years. And every bull cycle year, like it is this year in 2021, we do see occasional pullbacks, and so this is pretty standard, par for the course.
Has it done anything in your mind to alter the notion that it would be a stable payment mechanism? The question remains today, how are you going to use it to buy stuff if you don't know if it's going to be up, down 10, 20% in the next 24 hours?
Yeah, so Bitcoin prices are very, very volatile. This is what I've written in my book, The Promise of Bitcoin. It's actually a misnomer that it has to have a stable price because we're still actually in its infancy. Bitcoin is only 12 years old. So as a technology, it feels like 12 years is a long time. It's survived certainly for the last 12 years. But in the grand scheme of human inventions, 12 years is just a drop in the bucket. So until it gets to a more mature age, 20 years, 30 years, I think it's going to be very volatile as the price goes up. So in the meantime, Bitcoin is really not as a payment mechanism. It should be seen more as an investment asset class.
Bobby, it's Morgan. I'm curious what you think about all the regulatory headlines we've been getting, whether it's ongoing, or maybe I should say renewed crackdown in China, which seems to have moved Bitcoin and other cryptos last week, or some of the headlines out of the U.S., whether it's the SEC or even the Treasury looking to potentially crack down from a tax standpoint.
Yeah, since this is a bull market year, the joke is that the Chinese regulators have done a great job in cracking down, allowing people who want to invest to buy Bitcoin at a good price. So what's happened in the last few days is the Chinese regulators have indeed announced the same thing they have announced in 2017, which is that cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin is not to be used in the local economy and supported by businesses and banks. So in fact, the recent announcement, there's actually nothing new per se. There's no new enforcement. There's no new rules. It's just a repeat and a rehash of the same sort of statements from 2017. And the only difference is now I think they're going to go look more into the mining sector, the mining of cryptocurrency, and maybe they're going to try to stop that.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of more regulation, at least here in the U.S., for example, and I realize all the devil's in the details, but if you were to actually see more guideposts put in place where cryptocurrencies are concerned, would that actually help decrease the volatility?
Well, I think what's going to help decrease the volatility is when really cryptocurrency like Bitcoin gets to a much, much higher market valuation. So recently, last month we hit the all-time high at about $63,000, which was bringing the whole value to $1 trillion. Personally, I think when it goes up another 10 times, 100 times, that's when we're going to see maturity and sort of stability in prices. Because going from zero from 12 years ago up to the trillions, it's going to take a long